Welcome to Caddo Grove Elementary. I am Mrs. Tanya Chernow, and I'm proud to be the principal here this year. We're so excited to give you a tour of our building to show you some of our safety protocols to keep your families and your students safe. As you know, this year we cannot have visitors in the building, but sometimes we have to pick up our students so that we can take them to a doctor's appointment. So I want to show you our procedures on how to do that. We come into the building, and you may notice that we have our social distancing markers on the floor. You'll come in, you'll get some hand sanitizer that we've provided for you. Press this button, and our receptionist will let you in. Then we come in here and we notice we also have our markers here on the floor as well. You'll sign out your student on this Chromebook, which will be disinfected after each use. Our receptionist has a plexiglass here for your safety and for hers. And we also have provided masks just in case you forgot, and we hope that this is an easy transition for us. This is our library, and even though most years we would have students in here perusing books and looking at their favorite titles, this year our procedure is that our teachers will use that specials time to push into the classroom. Our librarian will have a cart of books of students' levels, and they'll be able to read them right there in class. She'll read a story to them. And for our older grades, they'll be able to peruse titles in a digital format. As we transition from class to the cafeteria to pick up our lunches, our students are accustomed to walking on the black line. The squares also allow our students to be socially distant by counting the squares in between, and the yellow lines indicate traffic flow patterns. Students will walk on the right side of the building, and their teachers will encourage them to stay apart so that they're safe. As we enter the cafeteria, our students are used to entering on the left-hand side. They will stay to the left-hand side, and we've got markers on the floor to show them where to stay on line. If we have 4 classes coming in for lunch, then we will split right here, where one side will go down the middle and one side will go down the left-hand side. You'll see that we have these markers on the ground so that the students will stay 6 feet apart. We have 2 sides that will enter, one on the left-hand side and one on the right-hand side. This ensures that our students can get their lunches as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So they'll go through, they'll get their lunch, and they'll come out these doors. At that time, they'll go to assigned seating. Our teachers have arranged for our students to sit in an assigned seat. We'll have tabletop tents for them to identify which table they're at. And you'll notice a green sticker is where they can sit, and a red seat sticker means that they can't sit there because it's red hot. This will still allow students to be able to visit a little bit during lunch and to take a break from their mask. So lunch is finished and students need to leave and go back to their classrooms or maybe recess. So they'll come out this door. Now we keep in mind that it's only pre-K through 2 who will be eating in the cafeteria, and grades 3 and 5 will do that same procedure and come out this way and then walk back to their class. After lunchtime, and sometimes before, every grade level is a little bit different, they'll go out for recess. We have organized activities so the students get to play. We're lucky to have a track here where students can participate if they have PE perhaps, or maybe for their special time. We can keep students distant around the track as they try to reach their lap goals. And then we also have some other play areas I'll show you in just a moment. So we're outside and we want to show you where your kids are playing. We have this whole area over here where at first if we can't play on the equipment, that's okay. We still have some sidewalk to do maybe hopscotch, and we can play with hula hoops and jump ropes. Of course, disinfecting after each time. But there is some shade there with the awnings. And if you look around here, we're going to partition off different areas so that each class stays within their class. So we'll have different areas for different classes as well as their specials time if in case they do overlap. We have our basketball area, we have a soccer field, and then we have all this free space so that we can play races and compete and let the kids really enjoy the day. This area right here is an opportunity for teachers to be able to take their class outside. It gives them a different change of scene, but perhaps our music class wants to use it that day. So it's a multi-purpose area so that we can allow students outside to get some fresh air, but still be working on their assignments. This is the back of the building where our buses come and drop off and also pick up our students at the end of the day. If students are coming to school and they need to pick up a breakfast out of the cafeteria, they'll walk through door 6 where our staff will be ready to help them get their numbers into the computer, get their breakfast, and then head to their classroom safely. Greeting students in the morning is one of the biggest things that our teachers can do to say hi and I'm happy you're here. Well, that looks a little different. We're not exchanging hugs and we're not giving high fives, but we do have some other ideas. This is an idea from our pre-kindergarten teacher. Notice how each of them, the students, are modeling wearing their masks, but they're also doing some activities that do not have hand touching and that is kind of fun at the same time. Some of our parents were also worried about the students using their books, and so this is an idea from our kindergarten team that they have book baskets. This is for the students to look at their books and read them all week long, and then we'll pick them up on Friday, disinfect, let them sit, and then we'll bring them back out to rotation on Monday. All of our water fountains in the building are covered, and some people have thought, well, maybe we can use those touchless water fountains. Well, we actually have one here on campus, but the more we started thinking about little hands touching it and different germs, sometimes the kids don't always be careful with touching that top part. It just doesn't ensure safety. So we thought we would tape it off like everything else. Don't worry, we have lots of water bottles thanks to our community and for providers who are giving us extra water bottles for those students who may need them. But we do encourage that you bring them to school too. Welcome to one of our classrooms. We've got our seats spread out just as much as possible, and we have some really neat features in these desks because our students can keep their personal items right there next to them. Their cubbies will allow them to not have to get up and move around the room and also cross-contaminate and touch different surfaces. Every teacher also has a cleaning solution and some paper towels so that they can clean off all the tables after each use. And we have hand sanitizer at the door so that as our students come in, they can gel in and gel out. In our restrooms, we also have safety protocols put in place. Every other urinal, every other stall is taped off so that students know not to go to the ones right next to them. We also have signage in both English and Spanish so that our students know that we have procedures in here too. Make sure you wash your hands very thoroughly after each use and only use the sinks that are every other one. If a student isn't feeling well, the teacher will phone down to the nurse to tell them that they are on their way. When they get here, if they notice there are other students in the office, we want to keep them separate. So we provided some seating out in the hall so that a student can wait his or her turn. If a student is being sent home because of COVID symptoms, they'll come to this room. This is our isolation room, also a quarantine room, where the student will be separated from the rest of their class just until their parent comes. Of course, we have our cleaning solution so that we can disinfect afterwards, and then we have the rest of the class. They're relocated to different areas here on campus, and we have several that have seats and chairs so that they can continue their instruction in a safe environment. As the parent comes up to pick up their student, they'll go to the front and do our typical front office procedures to get a student out of the class. However, in this case, if the student is in the isolation or quarantine room, they will be exited out door 2 so as not to go through the rest of the building, and the parent can pick them up at that door safely. You may notice that our doors are propped open, and that's so that students don't constantly contact the door handles. This is for their safety and our staff. And you'll notice that whenever there is a doorway, we also have our face mask required posted. This is one of our relocation rooms. If we have to relocate an entire classroom, they can move to the computer lab. Our computer lab teachers are rotating into the classrooms with their Chromebook cards, and teachers and students can continue to learn, use the classroom, use the computers so that they can continue to learn on their Google Classrooms and all their assignments. Parent drop-off and pickup are the same. Parents are not asked to walk their students up to the door, but rather go through our parent pickup line and drop-off line. They'll go through these lines. We'll have teachers there to help escort them. If we need to use the crosswalk, we'll have someone there to help them and make sure that they are escorted into the building, and staff members will make sure they get to the right place. The 2021 school year will be absolutely amazing. Remember, Caddo Grove, life is a great big canvas, paint it with color.